which just means you don't feel good, and empowerment, which means you feel good. So the skill set that you learn in this strategy is to really be able to stay in that awareness, to really stay aware, and from there learn tools to manage your limiting beliefs and your sabotage patterns. Most importantly, to be able to release them, and then to become aware again, and then to discover what your personal ideals are, and to move in the direction of more and more self-power, more and more empowerment.
Right. And the shadow self is?
Yes. So how we would describe the shadow self in this strategy is that we would have myself or anyone look at oneself, the body and mind, as a projection of my own consciousness. And what's held in my consciousness are really my own judgments that I have created, held on to, and stored throughout this lifetime or however many lifetimes one believes.
Right.
So it's really what you learn is that your judgments are really what your limiting beliefs are. If you believe something is not good or not helpful or inappropriate or wrong, this will be experienced in the body mind as a contraction. You'll experience it as a stress, a fear, a pain, emotion, and then these experiences that are stored in the body become the source of one's problems, and they create one's limitations, one's stress, one's problems, one's dis-ease. So because they will block your creative flow. So in this process, you are given tools to become more and more aware. And as you become more aware, you can then become more aware of these limitations at deeper levels and learn a very powerful strategy and tool to release them. And when they're released, you return to a state of flow.
Right. And so that kind of, I'm going to sort of, I have a couple of questions here. I'm going to flip because this kind of goes into my question that I have written for you. So many people, they come to a place of needing help through trauma or sickness. Is it possible to dissolve or heal through the practice of self-discovery, life mastery?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
And the way that any healing, well, I guess what's very unique to this strategy and also why I became a trainer in this strategy, it's the first strategy I ever did that there was nothing I needed to change about myself. There was nothing wrong with me. The only thing I learned, or the most important thing I learned, was really how to manage my attention and how to stay present. And when one becomes aware of how they are creating what they're experiencing in their life, they're experiencing whatever they're experiencing as a trauma, as a sickness, as a disease. But when they become aware of how they're creating that, they can then also use the tools to discreate it. Does that make sense?
That makes absolute sense. Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. But as I would say, the goal is really of any is to connect you to your true self into awareness and to be able to integrate more and more of that into your being.
Now, when somebody goes to take workshops, and you can take them whenever you want, you can take them however you want, as fast, as quickly or slowly, which I think is really, really nice for a lot of people who have busy lives. What could someone expect to discover if they completed the full 6 workshops that the Self-Discovery Life Mastery Program offers?
Well, I think a really simple way of how I experience it, that what you really learn in this process you really learn what is you and what is not you. You know, what is awareness and what is just a story that's being made up about yourself.
Right.
So I think that is really the process of self-mastery. You really become aware of what's real and what's not real, you know, and you really learn to let go of any belief, any attitude, any creation that is limiting you. And you learn to deliberately create what your true self desires, what your, you know, what it is, what your ideals are. Because what's unique to you, Colette, what you love in life and what is important to you is unique to you. And this is to give you the ability to really be able to deliberately create whatever it is you want to create in your life and contribute.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's a process that the first step is becoming aware and really learning how to manage and discipline one's attention so that one can really stay present. And that's the first step. The first step is to learn to manage and to develop some degree of mastery over attention and awareness. Once somebody has the ability to do that, the next step is to develop more and more mastery over one's consciousness, which is their beliefs, their attitudes, their feelings, and to have more and more mastery over their consciousness. The next step then is to have more mastery, right, over what you're actually creating in your life so that you can get more masterful at creating what you actually want. And, you know, the process ultimately is to create yourself to really live your true purpose. You know, what you're really here to share with the world and contribute to the world.
Gosh, this is very inspiring.
And to do that with a community of people. You know, there is a community, there is a process, and I think that's the other attractive and why I became a trainer is that many of the other strategies I learned are kind of just, you know, left on your own. Almost like when I was a doctor, you tell somebody what to do, but it's like, okay, good luck. There you are.
You're on your own.
Right?
Yeah.
And as a doctor, I would have, most of the things I was telling people to do, I wouldn't have been able to do them anyway.
Right.
You know, that's what I mean by out of integrity.
Right.
So in this process, the beauty of this process is that, like you and I met, there's always a trainer, there's always a community of people that are committed to their own self-mastery and to becoming a hero, you know, to really becoming a hero in their life, to becoming their own hero. You know, as I think Joseph Campbell talked about that, right?
Yes,
the hero's journey. Like, that's really what we're doing here. It's becoming our own hero and supporting other people to connect to that.
Beautifully said. Absolutely beautifully said. I would like to ask you a question about you and about your yoga practice. So I know in the past you've been an avid yoga student. What are your two favorite yoga postures and why?
I love this question because my favorite postures are, of course, postures that I could never do.
That's all of us.
Sort of how I think, what I've learned in my own awakening process, that it's just the tendency of the mind to want something it thinks it doesn't have. But I would say the postures that I loved the back bend. I love opening the spine, opening the heart. I love the back bend. That was just such a beautiful, beautiful posture. And the other thing I would say that I love, the two styles of yoga that I practiced were Ashtanga and Bikram. And the other thing, maybe more than the actual posture, what I really loved, which is very similar to the strategy that I teach now, they are step by step by step by step. You do the same thing over. Right. You don't deviate from the practice.
Right.
You do the same and you master every step of the process as you go.
Yeah.
So that it takes you to being right here, right now. What's most important right now is that both my feet are on the ground.
Yes.
What's important right now is that my attention is out. What's important right now is that I am actually hearing and doing this step. So when I thought about it, I thought that really, I would say, was my favorite thing about yoga, is that, it's the two strategies schools I practiced were very, they were very diligent, and they were the same thing over.
Yeah.
And I feel that is life. What you do over is what you become.
Yes. And I have to tell you, we've run out of time. Oh, no. And I had two more questions for you, but I'm just going to have to get you back and ask you those two questions again. So, thank you so much for being on the show today, Marcy. Really have enjoyed.
Oh, Colette, thank you. I just love spending time with you, and
thank you,
it's
sweetie.
just amazing. I love that. So thank you.
And if you would like more information about today's topic, you can visit Marcy Ouellette at www.IFE.MASTERY.com. That is the website. On Facebook at MarcyOuellette, Instagram MarcyOuellette, and Twitter at Marcy Ouellette, MarCu. OUELLEYTE. I got a little mixed up there for a moment. And thank you again for being here on Yin Yoga Lifestyle, Marcy. Really appreciate it. And I look forward to us meeting soon. And
absolutely.
And please don't forget to check us out at yinyogalifestyle.com, adding enlightenment, calm, balance, and creativity to your everyday life. Thank you for joining Yin Yoga Lifestyle. I am your host, Colette Darville. Join us next time to continue our journey of balancing into a state of perfect harmony. Until then, this is Colette Darville, reminding you to inhale, sow, and exhale, hum.